Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It's Tuesday night, so you already know it is time to talk some more Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And the one going in deep with us is once the one, the only, Fandom D Saint. What's good, brother?
Hey y'all, Fan BC here. DJ, you're like a little bit glitching there. They got
Am I?
you.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Man.
So hopefully it phases out.
Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah, it's showing on my thing right now that it's only got one bar and it just bounced up to two. That's so weird how it does that. Wonder if like all the bandwidth is out. I even went through the house and like tried to turn off everything that I thought would be sucking up juice. So that is weird that it looks like it's starting to pump back up now. But yeah, that's weird that it does that. Always right at the beginning, too. Hey, what's good, Samus Morningstar? I see you out there, Celebrity Bikini. We got Christian Oles in the house. What's up? What's up? How's everybody enjoying the old Falcon Winter Soldier so far?
Maybe
Oh, man.
you need some internet from Wakanda. That's what
Right?
you need.
I need some of that vibranium. Is my voice cutting in and out right now?
Now it's good.
But right, at the first it does. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it just starts out like that. That's crazy, and it always fixes it like the next day. But most people are watching it that like within that 24 hours. So yeah, that's really a bummer. I've seen something. I saw one guy talking about like an internet booster or something like that. So because we already pay for the high speed Wi-Fi, but I think I'm like at the end of the line, and I don't know. It's just messed up. But it should be flying. I don't know why it's not.
They want you to
Because it
pay
says on that,
extra. That's what it
yeah,
is.
I know we do pay the extra and not even getting it, and it shows that little meter, and the meter's always like cranked all the way. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just don't know. Not exactly a computer genius, but hopefully we'll get that figured out. But yeah, hopefully it smooths out for the rest of this one. But yeah, what are you thinking about the old Winter Soldier so far? We got Celebrity Bikini talking about they don't know how they're going to be able to wrap this up in 3 more episodes. What do you think?
I hope they do because when you look at the plot itself, it's like besides Falcon and Bucky with their own identity crisis, is then dealing with like the power broker and then the whole situation with the super soldier serum. My gosh, tongue tied there. So hopefully within 3 episodes they can do it. Because even when it comes to WandaVision, they had more episodes, but again, it was like half an hour each. So it's like all over it was like what 30. Well, no, it was like 9 episodes, 30 minutes. So possibly it's kind of like almost roughly the same if you think about it.
Yeah, if you look at it that way, for sure. And I mean, both of them have like 10 minutes of extra nothing at the end of it. They got to
That
make you
too.
like they got to make you go through it every time because you know sooner or later they're about to put that extra scene in there. I'm almost surprised. Well, we're gonna get into it, but I'm almost surprised they didn't do that this episode.
That
That's
would have been something. That would have been
right.
something.
That'd have been amazing. It was amazing anyway. I loved it. But yeah, I'm with Celebrity Bikini out there. I'm like, how are they going to wrap this up? I mean, there's so much more they can do. And I mean, I always leave them wanting more, but I mean, there just seems to be so much more. And I mean, if they're going to talk about making Bucky the winner or Captain America for a while, and then Sam's going to eventually take over the moniker, I mean, to get all that done in 3 episodes, explain the power broker, figure out what the hell's going on with Sharon. I mean, come on. Sharon Carter's out there acting a fool. We don't know what's happening with that. Like, it is absolutely crazy out there. I'm more concerned with them wrapping up the new Cap storyline. Yeah, I mean, dude, we already know this guy can't last very much longer. I mean, his Battlestar seems to be more of a Captain American than he does.
True. Even I remember in an interview, like the actors were like, they hope it's not just going to be one season because they still have like a lot they can expand on. They can give like even more seasons to this.
Oh man, Captain America is one of the longest running comics out there. I mean, there's so many storylines they could bust out with that one. I mean, he was their number one superhero. Like he was basically the Superman for Marvel for a long time. So absolutely they could get into it. And speaking of getting into it, we're gonna get into this episode. It was called The Power Broker, and we opened up with a GRC commercial basically showing the harmonious reuniting of peoples around the world. And kind of seems like things are going all smooth and everything's coming along fine, but that's not really the case, is it?
No, it is not. It's propaganda. Sound like, oh, because when you hear about it, it's all peaceful and they actually know what they're doing. Yet, when you go to Sam's sister, that's exactly not how it is. And again, like, didn't you say this is like what, 5 weeks or something, like after the blimp or something like that?
Uh, uh,
Or.
Yeah, I thought this was like 5 months after.
Oh, 5 months? Like,
5 weeks, 5 months. Yeah, I got to look back into that. What's up,
and
chat? Do you remember what that is? But I thought it was like this was like 5 months, like the honeymoon season was over, and now it was kind of getting into the realities of trying to integrate everybody back into society.
months or weeks, they're not gonna be, done with all that. It's
No.
improbable.
Oh, exactly.
I know people
And,
probably hate seeing that commercial.
and I mean, we're going to even talk about it later, but I mean, Sam even uses as an excuse is there's so much going on. I just forgot about you. And yeah, that's not even a possibility. And we're going to talk about that later. But maybe they can stay in their own characters, and we realize we don't need to have the same characters forever. I mean, yeah, they're going to switch up, but yeah, to switch it up in 3 episodes is it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. I'm excited to see how they do it. At least they do have about 50 minutes to get it in, but man, I don't know. It's going to be a little rushed, I think. But maybe again, they'll just leave us wanting a little bit more. But did you even think that like that was a real commercial? Like, wait a minute, am I watching a commercial before I get Winter Soldier? Like, did you think that was an actual commercial, or did you realize the show had started?
After watching WandaVision, at this rate, I think it's just part of the show.
It has to be. But after all that showing them coming along just fine, they immediately jump into like this police convoy coming to just rip shit up with the new Captain America leading the way. And the instructions he gives his men is not very Cap-like.
Nope, not at all. Even when he spat at him, I'm like, okay, Steve would have just like, he would have walked away. But this one, he's getting ready just to freaking cave his head in with that shield.
Oh, that's exactly what this one would have done. I promise you that. Spit in my face, that's assault. You're about to get it. Like, hey, he just assaulted me. Get some. You do not spit in another man's face. No, that is just the worst. But I gotta say that, yeah, like I said, protocols be damned, dude. Some disrespectful bastard spits in my face. It is go time, dude. That shield, it would have been shielded teeth if that was me. But I don't know. Maybe a different Cap could have just walked away. But man, that's messed up. What was he thinking? But the fact that he had to say, like, do you know who I am? That was pretty sad. But even sadder
Yeah.
is the guy just spat in your face answering, yeah, I know who you are, and I just don't care. It's like this man has no respect.
You're not Captain America yet, man. That's it. Again, I don't know how long he's gonna even like have this like mantle Captain America, but it's like you're not gonna just gain it in like over like I don't know how long he has it now, few days or whatever. It's gonna take time for people to truly be on board with like who you are. Granted, you're holding the shield, but that doesn't make the man.
Right. And I mean, yeah, they've done a lot of the propaganda. They've, thrown the parades and had you out at football games, and you've been doing interviews, and they even have dolls made of you already. So, I mean, it's been going on for a little bit. But again, you can't just force feed somebody their superhero. That's got to be earned. And that kind
Still
of,
not buying that Funko Pop either.
it's like, I'm not getting that Funko Pop. You haven't earned it yet. Oh, but they head outside, and Battlestar, like I was saying earlier, like his buddy Battlestar seems to get it more than he does. Like she's giving displaced people fucking medicine and shelter. I mean, that ish creates loyalty. Like, how does he get it, but the new Cap doesn't?
Who knows? Who knows?
But Sam and Bucky are following through on their brilliant idea, and Bucky him to like stay back. He wants to go see Zemo alone, and doesn't that just put up a red flag like instantly for you? Like he blamed it on Sam being an Avenger, but I wasn't buying it. Were you?
Nope. At one point, I'm like, okay, if he goes in there by himself, is he gonna say the phrase or something? It's not gonna work. Then he says something else, and then a whole bunch of stuff is gonna pop off. That's what I predicted last week, but that didn't happen though. But obviously, the moment he went there alone, he pretty much just manipulated Sam into getting him out.
Yeah, of course. But you knew, I mean, Aubrey, you knew the second he walked in, oh boy was going to give it a shot. Like, you knew them words were coming out of his mouth. He had to see, like, oh, I just wanted to see for myself. It's like, yeah, I bet you did, you bastard. And of course, wasting no time, he just went right at it with them words. But Buck's like, nah, that shit don't play no more. And Zemo kind of looks him in the eye and says, yeah, but something's still in there. Does Zemo know like a backdoor, like failsafe to reactivate the Winter Soldier? Like he also later points out to Sam how easy it was for Bucky to return to form. Like, is he going to be able to reactivate the Winter Soldier before this is over?
Honestly, I hope so. Just like one scene, just to have Sam and Bucky just go at it. But also, it goes back to the previous episode where Isaiah was like, "Oh, you think you could just wake up and be someone else?" Like back there, it's probably still the same Winter Soldier there, just waiting, dormant.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they definitely are alluding to something with him saying, "Yeah, something's still in there," and like, yeah, something's going on. Hasn't even beat one enemy yet. Oh, he's talking about the Winter Soldier.
Or the new Cap, John
Oh
Walker,
yeah,
I
the new
believe.
Cap. Probably that's it. Exactly. That's who he was talking about. The new Cap hasn't beat anybody. And yeah, he hasn't. I don't know if he's gonna, because he is not my Cap. But Buck starts to let Sam in on his idea, and Sam lays out how and why this is a really terrible plan. Like him killing T'Chaka, you think the Wakandans are really going to forget about it? You know, rhetorical question. They don't. And like Bucky's walking Sam through this hypothetical, we see it playing out in like real time. And I got to say, if it was that easy to break out of that prison, why hadn't he already done it?
Exactly. I guess he's just like waiting for the opportune moment. Because even if he's a power broker or has some type of hand in this, he was waiting for the right moment. And I was even like looking up, like, was he like even like erased during like the blimp? And I don't think he is, or was, or maybe they just haven't revealed it yet.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
I don't think we heard it. Yeah, he had an empty cell and then went right back to
Yeah,
his cell. Yeah, it sucked.
that would be messed up. If you're gone from the blimp, come back, and you're
And
still in
still
jail.
there. And then somebody else is in your cell too because they gave it to somebody else. Now you're in there with some other murderer before they figure it out. Like,
Hmm.
oh, that's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's like if like I don't know if it was really that easy to do it, because he makes mention later, like, do you know how awful it is being locked up? So if he hated it that much and it was this easy to do it, and he's that rich with that many connections, how has he not done it already? Like that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
True, and then they even expand on that within this show that he was rich. Granted, he was like Baron Zemo. Even then, I'm just like, what? This whole time he was rich? Like I didn't get that at all in
No,
Civil War. And
no.
granted, I'm guessing it's like that in the comics, but they really haven't touched upon that at all. I thought he was like this family man, chilling in a regular apartment. Next thing you know, he's like, all these cars, like, oh, we're doing Grand Theft Auto. He's like, no, my family owns. I'm like, wait, what?
It's like, what, you rich? Like you playing rich? When did this happen? Like, boy, they just slipped that in for a convenient plot line for all of them to be able to zip around the world. I think because I don't know, that was messed up. So Rudy Bikini says, power broker or not, he's no Wakanda. Prison was protecting him. Exactly, because we see what's happening already with that. So that was probably the safest place for him to be. So maybe that's why he was staying there, because he knew if he went out, he was going to get it. But yet he's able to come out now. Maybe he just thinks he's got enough protection around him. I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. I love that, Jake. But yeah, he did have a pretty dope car collection, and yeah, in Civil War, like you were saying, it seemed like he's just a regular guy who lost his wife as collateral damage, and now he's just loaded. Like they just slipped that in pretty conveniently.
Yeah, wife and kids, or a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And I like how like he could have grabbed anything he wanted, gats, guns, whatever. But we only see him grab the mask in his coat, like with the fur on the shoulders. Like that was a sweet homage to the actual comic book character. But it seems like I would have tried to grab a little more. I don't know, something.
Because I seen first time I've seen him was in the cartoon series. I think it was like the Avengers, the cartoon series, and that's was my first interaction with Zemo, or maybe it was a movie, either or a cartoon movie. And he had the mask on, and then some type of like chemical went on his mask, and then forevermore like he couldn't like take it off, whatever. And the moment I see Civil War, I'm like, wow, he doesn't have the mask on. So then finally, when they were showing advertisements of the show and seeing him have the mask on, I'm like, finally, they have him with the mask on now.
Bringing back my Zemo. What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. Yep, in the comics he's a Baron, but I don't think they'd have ever alluded to anything about that until we basically got to this one. Like, yeah, that was
Like Baron von Strucker, like they mentioned him being a Baron
right.
in I think Avengers 2. But I don't think they like ever when during Civil War they mentioned that he's a Baron, I think.
No, not that I remember. Like I said, I just thought he was an everyday guy who, like, basically just like Wanda, basically had a rocket come through his apartment, and that was that. Basically killed his wife because he was just an everyday guy. Yeah, living in a spot. So yeah, I think they slipped that one in for kind of a convenience. Basically, yep, I'm rich. I have a private plane. Let's do this. And yeah, I didn't realize Zemo was such a dope pickpocket either. Like, how did he end up with Bucky's book?
Exactly. At one point, I'm like, wait a minute, did he just Bucky give him for some reason? But nope, the way how he reacted towards it,
Oh,
I'm like, okay then.
I was like, when did you get so quick a sleight of hand? Like, I don't remember that being a skill, but okay. We
It
also
goes
see,
right back to the previous scene where Sam is like, just don't run off or anything because we're gonna put you back. But it's like just that sleight of hand. Just imagine what else is he taking, just to make sure that hey, when I have that right opportune moment, he's gone.
Zemo is in charge and running things at all point in time. Never at any point in this are Bucky and Sam running anything. Like they are 2 steps behind the game this entire time. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. But we also saw how much that book actually means to Bucky. Like, is that because it was Caps or is it because what's written into it? Like, he was not playing games when he said, do not ever touch this book again.
Both. Not only because Cap, but he's also like writing stuff into it as well. And who knows what personal information he wrote in there, and now ZMO just reading it, he can now gain it to even make him more of a leverage later down the line.
Well, it has all those names of people that he wants to make amends to, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's like, yeah, it seems to have real deep meaning to my man. And Zemo again alludes to something still being there as he tells James, like, he's going to have to be somebody he claims is gone. And I'm telling you, Zemo knows how to reactivate that Winter Soldier.
Seems more and more likely.
I mean, it's just he's way just too calm, cool, and collected about this whole thing. But Carly's back at the GRC settlement camp playing soccer with the kids when she gets called upstairs, and she's told there's not much time left, and she kneels next to this dying woman, and she starts to cry. Like, is this what Carly, like, is that how she got started down this road? Like a loved one being neglected, or like ever since the return, all of a sudden this lady's getting sicker because she's being neglected? Is that what started it all?
It seems most likely that was like the catalyst that started everything. It's like that's probably like her last family member, so or friend, who knows? Like I'm not sure they explained it or later on. I'm not
That's
sure.
Yeah, and I actually have that written down later on. I'm like, why do we care about this lady? Like, they're talking about her, but they've given us nothing. So it almost seems like there was a lot more going on, and maybe she had a lot more parts, and they just ended up cutting it for time or didn't think it was necessary. But I was like, and then if they're going to cut it, cut everything, because I don't know why I'm supposed to care about this lady. Like,
3 more episodes to go.
that's
So who
true.
knows?
Yeah, maybe it'll get more explained, but yeah, right now it's just like I don't know. They'll probably have to give some background about it next episode.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, it's like, why do I care? I mean, yeah, it's sad. Her lady died. Lots of people are dying. That's always sad, but I don't get it. I don't get it. And I mean, she's like what, Mama Dan or whatever. So she's probably like maybe she was the head of an orphanage or something like that. So these are all orphan kids, and she took care of them growing up. But yeah, like I said, they need to do some explaining about that because I have no idea. Oh, Buggy's psychiatrist is figuring out a way to block any backdoor to a switch, or she works for Zemo and will send him into a sunken place. Yeah, she could be the one that activates him. That would be such a sick twist. That'd be gross.
It would be.
Gross. I can see it happening. I can see it happening. That'd be pretty sick. How come those 3 just walked into Madripoor? Like, was that just so we could get the smiling tiger dialogue? Like, why are they walking all the way across this bridge in there?
Exactly. That's the only reason why we got it. Then he was like, "Oh, you look just like him." I'm like, "What?" And he kind of does resemble him too.
Totally, but I was just like, that was kind of weird. Like, this is the Baron, the rich guy, and he's not like Zemo's just walking in. Like, I didn't get that. That's kind of weird. A boy had a dope mask though on with the glow in the dark stuff on. I thought that was pretty sweet.
At one point, I'm like, "Is it because of COVID or something?" Because even one time I was watching like Black Lightning, and one of the characters had like on a mask. I'm like, "Is it just because you're hiding your identity, or is it because of COVID restrictions?" I don't know.
They're trying to make us feel for these superhuman freedom fighters. This show is clearly a touch of cringe. Yeah, exactly. Because
Until later, in the episode, I'm like, "Hold up, yeah, I know freedom fighters now."
No, dude, yeah, and I wasn't feeling any sympathy in the first place. I was like, "Are you out of your mind?" Like, what makes them? Yeah, what makes them think they get everything? Like, just the luck of the draw. They didn't get snapped, and now other people come back and get their life back, and now they're all evil. Like, no, this world was ours. You shouldn't have never came back. Like, who are you? Like, you just got lucky enough not to get snapped, but now you want to freak out because everybody's back and rage against the world. Like, screw you. Like, I have no sympathy for these flag smashers. But before getting in the car, Zemo says, like, Hightown's that way, but they're heading downtown. And Sam's like, let me guess, you don't have any friends in Hightown. But Zemo never answered. He just smiled. Do you think he does have a friend in Hightown? Like that's going to show their face later?
Could be. I never thought of it that way.
Well, you already know. We gotta keep our options open. So yeah, I don't know the way he never answered, and he kind of even gave a little smirk. I'm like, he does have a friend in Uptown that, and yeah, we're gonna talk about some things or some things, but what if that person might even be Sharon Carter?
Hmm.
I mean, we just who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Because yeah, I don't know. That whole thing seemed a little played on and fake too. We're gonna talk about that, but they walk into a club and Zemo says aloud, like, "Ready to comply, Winter Soldier." So he said it loud enough so so the crowd could hear him. And we actually hear like someone in the crowd ask, like, "Is that the Winter Soldier?" So like when they approach the bar, someone covers up with their hoodie and skedaddles, and we're like, "This dude, like Zemo knows exactly what he's doing. He's just got this set up from jump." And we find out later. Are you pretty sure the person who covered their head and left was Sharon?
Oh, most definitely. But also, touch back on that Winter Soldier thing. It's like, is he just well known, like in the underground and such? I thought he was like top secret.
No, I think the Winter Soldier is pretty much worldwide by now, kind of known, or at least in the underground, known like as the one of the killer or biggest assassins. I'm sure a lot of those people have been around or kind of touched in, or maybe had to help him on missions. Who knows? But yeah, I'm sure he's pretty much. I mean, somebody like that you'd think would be pretty well known in the underground. You would think.
True.
Oh, maybe Ross is the person. I like that. I think Peter Griffin's saying maybe Ross is the person in Uptown that he has that's a friend or a contact in Hightown. I like that.
Could
That'd be pretty
be.
dope. That'd be really dope. I love.
Unless that's the actual power broker. Because he has been like in several other films who've been after that super soldier serum. Can't even talk. The super soldier serum. So
I'm just,
maybe. Oh, that's a new theory now.
right. I love that. Peter Griffin bringing the thunder. I love it. What's up? We got Iron Throne in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh man, exactly. At least in Civil War. Yep. Oh man, that's dope. I love it. So the bartender looks nervous and asks Sam the usual, and Sam nods, yeah. And he instantly wishes he wouldn't have, because that bartender grabs that fermenting snake out of that jar and proceeds to cut something out of it. And I was like, oh, hell no. You serve that into a glass to Sam? I was just like, Bucky probably gave it a 50-50 shot of him even drinking that. That was just, I don't know.
Oh,
Could you do it?
nope. I've been like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm supposed to have a diet or something, trying to like lay off on something. I would probably would try not to drink on the mission. But the moment I saw that, I'm like, oh, he's regretting it.
Yeah. I already reached my limit of poison for the day. I can't have that yet or something. But oh man, that was just god dang ridiculous. Oh, I was dying. I was like, yeah, me and snakes, nope.
And I wonder who even started that. They're just that drunk. They're like, you know what? Let's cut off a snake.
And yeah, I mean, were she drinking baby eggs out of it? Like, so snake egg, like little snakes running around in India? I don't know. Yeah. For me, the gig would have been up right then and there. Been that game over. But it was nice to see, even in the most like criminal city on the planet, everybody was like quick to pull out their phones and start recording. Like, so much for what happens in
Exactly.
Madripoor stays in Madripoor.
To the point, I'm like, imagine that this goes online. Like, everyone will now know, like, oh, shoot, that's Sam now. Not like Sam in the past, or just like leak footage of him doing stuff like Winter Soldier thing. It's going to incriminate him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I just couldn't believe how many snitches there were up there ready to like how many wannabe influencers pulling out that phone like, ooh, I'm about to get some likes. Like, really? I thought this was
Hmm.
supposed to be the gangster of all gangster towns, and nope, just a bunch of snitches wanting to put up their phone and show it, see who can get it online first. Like, oh my god, that is just so just how the world is. But yeah, that was just crazy. The fight works, and they get the call, and Selby will see you now, and they're playing an incredibly dangerous game. Like Sam's an Avenger, and you're telling me like he made the rookiest of all rookie mistakes by not putting his phone on silent during that meeting. I was like, come on.
Not even that. Even you could have like a freaking like a smartwatch on or something. Could been like, oh wait, who's this calling me or something? Like, no. Like, oh my. And during that whole conversation, like, okay, she's not saying his name. So it just could have been anyone just calling him or whatever. It could have been his wife, whatever. But nope. The moment she said Sam, I'm like, damn, game over.
Oh, that was bad news. That was bad news. Oh, that's funny. Jake Diane got you to make a video too. I remember he said some. I may said something about sand snakes. He's like, "Yeah, you should make a video about that, Shay being a sand snake." So I was like, "All right, that's exactly what I made that video for," because I ain't said something. Ah, that's funny. Way back. But then he makes it worse by not making it short and quick. Like, I didn't know what Sam was doing. Like, tell me exactly the situation. What's going on? Tell me exactly. I was like, what villain's going to talk that much? I was like, I don't know. So a lot of villains like to spill their story, but that just seemed ridiculous to me.
Mm-hmm.
But Selby hears Sarah call Sam by his name, and the gig's up, and Sybil tries to say kill them, but doesn't even get the words totally out before Sharpshooter takes her out. And who do you think took that shot?
I think it's the chick we see later on in the episode that Sharon was talking to. That's my
Oh,
guess.
you think Sharon's bodyguard took that shot?
Yeah,
Nice. I like that. I like that. That's a good one. Um, all those texts said was Selby was dead, 1K bounty for her killers. How did everybody seem to know that it was that trio who were the killers?
because before that scene, they were like, Zemo was like, I want to go see her or see someone specifically. No, I think he said Power Broker, but her specifically. And then they were escorted to her. So it's like, if they were like the last people to see her, it's like, okay, I guess it's them who did it.
Yeah, I was just, and even okay, so the ones that were there would know, but these are bounty hunters. They don't want to share their bounty. So how did the whole city
That
instantly know?
was like John Wick right there. The moment I saw that, I'm like, really? And
Yeah.
then someone told me the writer for the show wrote John Wick, so I guess that's like a nod to it.
Well, that makes sense because there's a scene later that's a definite nod to it. So yeah, that was insane. But I was just like, how does this whole city know that it's these cats that are the killers? Like that was kind of wild to me. But yeah, it was pretty sweet. And the boys are on the run and about to be cornered when some guardian angel bullets ring out from a window. And next, who should appear? But again, Sharon Carter. So you think those bullets that took out those other guys? You think that was her bodyguard as well?
Yeah, it's probably a bodyguard. So at one point, I'm like, who actually did that? Because I don't think that she was just like that quick and like being the sharpshooter and then getting in there.
No way. She couldn't have got down there that fast. So yeah, I like that. It could have been her bodyguard doing it. That makes sense. So we hear she's been on the run forever since first helping Sam and Cap way back in Civil War, and I was like instantly just wait, what a like Cap was the ringleader. He was the planner of the Avenger missions. Like you're gonna tell me that Captain America left one of his most helpful soldiers out to dry? Like, not to mention, she was probably one of three women that he's actually made out with in his entire life. I'm like, you're going to tell me that this secluded soul who didn't have many friends or people to hang out with just ghosted one of the very few people he actually had a connection with? Like back when the chips were down, he just left her and left her out to dry. I'm like, I'm not buying it, dude. She is deep undercover. There's no way that Cap just let her be on the run like that forever, and everybody else got like a get off, get out of jail.
Exactly. The moment I hear that, I'm like, you're still on the run. Like they haven't pardoned you yet. Like what's the deal here? But now you're saying that if she could be undercover, maybe she's the actual power broker now. This I can get behind.
Oh man, the only way she's the power broker is if the power broker is like just a scare tactic, and there's like different people who kind of take the mantle over time.
Or she
But I
killed the
don't,
previous one and then is now the new one.
or something like that. Yeah, because I just don't. I don't think like she's been undercover this whole time working for Shield and doing her whole thing, and then all of a sudden like she just comes here. Like this power broker seems like they've been around for a while. Like every criminal in the air, this is like the gangster of all gangster towns, and every criminal's afraid and like bows down to this power broker. So I don't think she could have like gotten that big and that strong that quick. So I think the power broker is somebody else. Like I said, at first I and like, but the fact that he passed away, they might have switched it over to somebody else. I know a lot of people think it might be Ross. Um, I don't think it's going to be Ross either. I think it's going to be somebody else. But I think it'll be somebody that's been in a Marvel movie somewhere at some point in time. I don't think it'll be a brand new character. It'll be somebody we know, I think. What do you think
I
about
hope it's
that?
someone we know. So it's even better and then more of a surprise. Then it's just like a brand new character who may end up dying within the show.
Right, exactly. Celebrity Bikini wants to know, will we get Old Man Cap by the end of the show? Absolutely, I think so. They haven't said it. I mean, they're leaving it up in the air as to whether he's alive or not. So 100%, I think we'll get. I think we'll get. He might even do. He might even come in and save the day and die. He might die at the end of this. Who knows? Like at the very last episode, like he's in there. Sam's the new Cap, and old Cap comes in to save him.
I'm gonna say no because I remember Chris Reeves, yeah, that's his name, interview saying that after Endgame he's not gonna come back.
But there's already been rumors about him coming back. And if there's rumors about him coming back, who's to say that he hasn't already filmed and been back?
If so, I'll never listen to another interview again by that man. Period. I won't. And if so, if we do get him in the show, it better be on the moon. Because then we can go back to the first episode and be like, they said he was on the moon, and we all thought that was a joke. But in reality, he was on the moon.
That'll be something. That'll be something. Peter Griffin thinks it's got to be a villain that's been hiding in broad daylight. Celebrity Bikini's going with Zemo as the power broker.
Because it does say, like, the power broker
vegan.
sees all. And a good way to see all is being in broad daylight.
Could be, could be. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, somebody slippery that never shows their face and still has the whole underground petrified of them. So it's somebody with some skills. That wasn't him as Old Man Cap in Endgame. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think we'll get an Old Man Cap by the end of this. Oh, I absolutely believe we will. But I think Sharon is working for the power broker. I think like she's either undercover to bring him down and maybe use that as a way to get back home, or basically she's been back home this whole time. Like I said, can't believe Cap would just leave her out like that, and she's basically just on another covert mission. Like when we first got introduced to this character, she was undercover, keeping an eye on Captain America. So who's to say she's not undercover right now?
Then she tells her bodyguard like there's like multiple problems now. So it's like, where are all these multiple problems now? I thought it would just be like that one problem with like Zemo, but it's like multiple now. Could it just be now all of this is getting in the way of her actual mission?
Yeah, and when she says we got a couple, actually she goes, we got a problem. And go, actually a couple of them. I don't think she was just talking about Falcon and Bucky. I think she's got multiple problems. Like for the power broker, basically her being outed on this undercover mission, all sorts of stuff. Absolutely. So yeah, that's a bunch of stuff that's going to get explained. That's why I can't believe there's only 3 more episodes left. Like this is just getting crazier and crazier. It's nuts. But it looks like Sharon's new life is treating her pretty well. Like she seems to have it all living uptown. And did you notice those 2 guards standing sentry at the gate when they very first walked into her house? Like she's big time balling.
All that, but no one to share it with. You can't tell it to her family or father, nothing. Can't go back home. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, but I don't think. I think she's not going back home to keep her family safe. Because, like I said, I just think she's undercover. She probably sneaks back home for Christmas and Easter, though. Thanksgiving, maybe. Like I said, I think it's all undercover. I think it's just a big story. But Sam remarked earlier that Zemo didn't have any friends uptown, and Zemo didn't answer. And is it because he and Sharon aren't exactly friends, but very much working acquaintances? Like Zemo looked pretty comfy in her home, like knowing she would very much like to kill this man, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just chilling.
I'm telling you, that actor playing Zemo is just doing a marvelous job, just owning every scene, not worried. He's the man who's controlling the room. Well, we know he is again the power broker now, just like laughing at them, like, oh, so yeah, I really think this is gonna go down. That's gonna go down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would make a lot more sense for somebody like Zemo to be the power broker, but I don't know. I can't wait till they start unfurling some of that stuff. But Sharon says for their own safety, they should steer clear of the situation with the flag smashers. Like, this is Falcon and Winter Soldier she's talking to. Like, shouldn't the bad guys be the ones who are scared?
After people get snapped, everyone wants to be a gangster.
I'm just like, why is she telling them they should be scared and steer clear of this? Like I said, she's working undercover. There's not a doubt in my mind. Like, I think this is her trying to keep them off her case that she's covertly working. Like, there's just no way. But Sam was acting like a boss, like saying he could get Sharon's name cleared, and she's like, "Oh, that's cute." Like she just knows that he won't be able to. And Sam, in one of the cheesiest lines of the episodes, like, "I'm willing to try if you are." Like I was like, "Oh my god." Like at this point, when Sharon agrees to setting her own stipulations, like it just felt like she was totally playing them. And I was like, I don't know. And what was that look she gave Zemo right then too? Like when she was saying Nagel worked for the power broker, and her and Zemo kind of seemed to have a look at each other. I was like, man, something is going on here.
Honestly, when the power broker finally reveals himself, it's gonna be a weight lifted. Because that's like the new thing now. Like WandaVision was Mephisto. Now with this show, it's like the power broker. It's like who it is, this person, that person. I can't look at a scene correctly because of it. Then
Right.
going back to like the previous scene, we didn't mention it when the woman asks Zemo, "Oh, I thought you were in jail." Then he replies, "Like, oh yeah, you can't like keep me. Like certain people can't keep them in jail or something of that nature. Like certain people can't keep in jail." So it's like, were you really all the time in jail?
He was just coming as going as he pleased. I mean, as easy it was to get out, you probably could have.
Or just like a Kingpin, even though Kingpin was in jail, like he was still running stuff from the outside.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Wait, hold up. Have you seen Netflix some Daredevil?
Of course.
Double check it. Double check it.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, that was great. That was one of the better ones. I loved it. Other than Jessica Jones, love me some Jessica Jones. Oh, power broker equals power couple. Sharon and Zemo wedding bells. Get some. Coupling them up. Yeah, next we see Zemo's been locked up for a while, and he's ready to just shake it, boy. He was getting that 1.5 fist pump in, and I was like, who knew Zemo had moves?
That had me dying. I'm like, what is this really happening? He's just trying to blend in, or he was actually into the music, and it was so random.
Oh, yeah, the whole walking through the club, I was like, are they just, is this space filler? Like, what happening? I was like, nope, they just had to set up my man, give him the fist pump move. I was like, Zemo's got it. It's like, I've been locked up. Hey, ladies, let's do it. He's ready to get his boogie on. It was fantastic. But Sharon worked the room and found out where Nagel is hiding. And it was funny, like how the next morning on the way to the Nagel hideout, Sam and Zemo are all almost bonding, talking about like how hardcore Metacore is and how they know how to party. I was like, shit. This is just, are they going to be the next power couple?
Could be. But that would be crazy, though.
That would be sick. But when Sharon led them to that container, didn't it almost feel like a setup? Like it had me actually guessing her allegiance at that point. That was kind of a trip. Like this empty container, I was like, is she going to push them in there and lock them in there? Like, what's going on here?
That would have been crazy, just so she can go back home.
I would have thought she would have done that just so they didn't mess up her stuff because she was undercover and she didn't want them interfering. I still don't think it would have been because she's bad. Like I said, she's deep undercover. But they find the secret entrance and enter to have a little chat with Nagel. And Nagel seems to know who the Winter Soldier was. And he had a pretty hard stare at Zemo, who was glaring right back. Like, it almost seemed like he knew Zemo. Does he actually know him as the power broker?
Maybe.
I mean, like I was saying
Because
earlier.
he's the one who actually knows, well, if it's like multiple power brokers, he at least knows at least one of them. At least.
Right. But Sharon says they have company and every bounty hunter in the city is there. And like, how would the power broker know to send them all there? Like, he's just got eyes and ears everywhere.
But the contract went to like almost everyone. And
but how would they know to go there? I mean, Nagel's where Nagel's hideout is. Like, that would be some secret intel. Like, how would everybody know to go there?
Because they pretty much opened up, like it was like painted like on the wall, like the power broker sees all. So
yeah, I guess
who he or she was specifically tailing.
That's crazy. But Nagel starts to talk, and we find out he was able to perfect the super serum by studying samples the CIA took from Isaiah. And he said there were traces of semi-stable samples from Isaiah. And I was like, wait a minute, semi-stable. So when we saw Isaiah and we thought he was just mad about the situation, are we now hearing that he was basically unstable and his temperament could have been like a threat to society? Is that what they're saying?
Now I gotta rewatch that scene. I didn't cut on that the first time.
Yeah, he said basically those were semi-stable samples. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean semi-stable? So what was really going on? But we also hear that like the dying woman Carly was kneeling next to was Danya Monia, and she's dying of tuberculosis, which was common in these type of camps. And outside, like Sharon was, yeah, I don't know, I didn't. Yeah, that was a different one. But I just again, I brought that up because I was like, why do they keep bringing this woman in, and why do we care about her?
Repeat that again?
When they just flashed in on Carly kneeling down next to that dying woman, and we hear it's Doña Madonna, and I'm just like, okay, she's dying, and this is
Wow,
coming.
that's not even like the same last name either. So yeah, it has to be someone, I
Yeah.
think.
So it's like, so her name's Doña Madonna, and I think they call her Mama Madonna. And if they call her Mama Madonna, that's what makes me think maybe she was the head of some orphanage or whatever, and she
Yeah.
found all these kids. But again, they have told us nothing. I'm like, why do they keep flashing to this woman, and why do I care?
She also does care about the kids, because doesn't she say it like that when before they see the supplies again? Like, is she gonna give it to like the kids? So at one point I thought that she meant the serum, but no, she meant like supplies. But yeah, most likely it's that.
That was just crazy. But outside, Sharon was absolutely killing it, literally. Like, she was just, like we were talking about earlier, she was straight going John Wick. And if it was the writers of John Wick, that makes a lot of sense because she literally was going John Wick on all them fools. That was amazing.
Yep. Because of that, I'm just really considering to get that new Sharon Funko Pop. Like right here. Like hopefully the camera can focus.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yep. It's like her and Zemo there. I'm like, okay. If they're not coming out with any others, I definitely gotta get that. Just that scene alone, I'm like, why don't we got, revive back Agent Carter and have her star in it? Or just give her own title show. Come on, Disney Plus. We know you want to. You already increased my bill from what was it, $6.99 to $7.99. Give me a show to justify that dollar increase.
You want some Agent 13 in your life?
You goddamn right.
I need it, gots to have it. Make it so Disney. But Bucky asks if there's any more serum left in this lab, and Nagel kind of stalled for a minute and then says no. Was he lying?
Hopefully not. If so, it's destroyed now. But I was surprised that they said like there was like 20 of them that he created, and she has all of them. Because they said like what there were like 7 or 8 of them
Mm-hmm.
that they were fighting. So then it's like, hold up, there's like 20. So it's like, where are this other 12 that she has?
And she made it sound like the power broker's not going to come out after her anymore because now he would need their blood basically to make more because all of it's gone. But I don't know. I think there might have been some in that lab. I mean, Zemo was pretty quick to find that gun. I think he might have found a serum, and I don't know if he's taken it or not. I mean, does Zemo have some superpowers we don't know about? Is he just keeping them under wraps?
If Zemo is gonna take it, that makes him a hypocrite. Because he literally was saying back and forth like no one should be having like the super soldier like serum. He literally even killed the super soldiers back in Civil War. So it's like, why do all of this? Like
Exactly.
now you're a different person now. Like what
unless
was
he
this
wants
change?
unless he wants to rule the world, or he's playing double agent, or he says like you got to fight fire with fire, and to be able to take all these other ones out, I'm going to have to take it and be able to do it. And who knows? Maybe even takes his own life at the end of it. I doubt it, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Can you see Zemo, like you just said, taking it because that would be so hypocritical? That's interesting. That is interesting. But Sharon runs in and says they're out of time, and Zemo instantly shoots Nagel. Like, was that so he couldn't produce any more super serum, or because he knew more than he was saying and Zemo didn't want him telling anymore?
2 for 2 right there. Don't want to
But
create anymore. And two, because he's again, if he really doesn't want anyone to have this super serum, he's literally the only one who's cracked it. Because out of all these years, no one truly has. Or actually, no, actually, at one point someone had to. Because like, how did Isaiah get it though? I don't think they ever explained that, did they? Of how Isaiah got it. Have
no.
they?
Yeah, no, I don't think they have.
So that's one thing. All the time was like, we don't know that. But again, the show can expand on that hopefully within a season 2, because it
Like
doesn't seem
maybe
like we're gonna get like any more Isaiah this season at all, by the looks of it. But he's the only one that knows how to do it currently, of our knowledge. So it's like kill him. He also could know too much. Do it.
I think maybe I don't know. I kind of get the feeling, like I said when I asked earlier, if Isaiah was going to make another appearance. I think Isaiah might be the one that comes in. Like I was saying, maybe Captain America comes in and saves him and gets shot and dies. I think they might flip it. And maybe that happens to Isaiah. I think Isaiah might come in and save Bucky or Sam in some situation at the end, and he may end up dying, like giving his life for theirs or something like that. I could see that happening. He said, I'm sure Zemo grabbed a flash drive before it blew up. He says, I'm getting some of that info. Zemo took it, then shot him before he told them he was the power broker. That's kind of what they're making it look like. So that absolutely couldn't happen. Zemo doesn't want revenge. He wants to eliminate competition. That's what I'm saying. That would be the reason. That would be why he'd be hypocritical. Like, fight fire with fire, take them all out, and then he'd be the last man standing and the only one with superpowers. And I mean, if he's the one who wants to be in charge of everything, I could see that. Little of both, but he has the blueprint of the perfected serum, so he doesn't snitch. The only way Isaiah comes is if his grandson is in trouble. Could see that.
That's like the only motivation he has, because he doesn't like not Sam. He doesn't like Bucky one bit.
No,
Sam, he hardly knows him at all.
Unless Sam goes back to talk to him or apologize or want to get to know, like that could be a whole scene that comes up and happens. So, and then he comes back and saves him. Who knows? Who knows? But as soon as Zemo shoots Nagel, like the bounty hunters outside launch a rocket into the lab, and I like how as everything's burning, there's like an emergency alarm going off. I was like, this is a makeshift lab out of shipping containers, like, and they stuck in an emergency alarm just the whole time. In the end, I was like, I don't know, that was kind of Hollywood. I don't know why that got to me. I thought that was funny. But anybody seen Zemo? And the lab completely like blows out, and the heroes are able to escape unharmed. But they escape the burning building, but basically out of the pot into the fire. The bounty hunters are still waiting outside for them. And Zemo to the rescue! Like the Baron doesn't seem to have lost a step. He's out there taking down bad guys like he's a superhero. And again, I'm like, has he been dosed with the serum and we just don't know it?
Maybe, because even I can't remember that much of any fighting scenes like he had in Civil War. So it's like, okay, where this came from? That or he was like doing push-ups in prison, and he's like, oh, I'm a different band now.
Yeah, working on those reflexes and everything else. Like he had mad skills. He was out there Sharon Stone in them or Sharon Carter in them. Like it was crazy. I was just like, a Breaking Bad lamb with a smoke alarm. Exactly. I don't know why that got me, but it was just crazy. But yeah, Zemo finds a way to get away. He finds a getaway car, and Sharon bids the crew goodbye. And Sam comes back to the States. Sam's like, come back to the States with us. But she reminds him that she can't and tells him to remember that pardon he promised her. And I don't know, is she just saying that, or does she really think he's going to go back and actually do it?
If he, during this time when the whole snap and they all return, no one has been communicating, I highly doubt he's going to remember. Doubt it.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy. I don't know if he's going to be able to
do love that Sam asks Bucky, could he pull up the scene? Oh, and he just said no, going right back to Civil War when it was the other way around.
Oh, that was the sweetest callback of anything yet. Absolutely. And he did. He didn't even ask him. He told him. He's like, you're not going to do it, are you? Like, that was fantastic. But yeah, when Zemo put on that mask, he definitely gave some power broker vibes. There's no doubt about it. That's something you just have to put into it could happen. You got to put it in there. He could definitely be that. He's one of the ones that makes the most sense. There's no doubt about it.
Or it could just be a red herring. And it's like, okay, you got us again, Marvel. You got us again.
Exactly. But yeah, like with Mephisto, that was just something that, all the fans made up, a bunch of fan theories. This, like the power broker's actually been put in that he's a thing in this. So it's not quite the same thing, but they've told us this guy is real or it is. Around the corner, Sharon's already she already had her own car waiting, claiming to her bodyguard. And I was like, she just what? she just kicked the shit out of how many people outside, and she's got a bodyguard. I was like, that was kind of weird. But like, where was she? Like, I don't know. If Sharon, it seemed like Sharon just needed guarding. If this is her bodyguard, which they billed her in the credits, why wasn't
Mm-hmm.
she out there guarding Sharon when she was out there fighting 20 people at once?
Yeah, she can handle herself. I guess it's when it's like, okay, she actually needs an assistance, and let me go in, I guess. Or maybe just in case if like Zima would have did something or was getting away, then it would have been perfect for them, the bodyguard, to do something. Because at that point in time, they were too busy dealing with the assassins, and they're pretty much surrounded by fire and whatnot. Zemo was like, he could have honestly have left. And I actually thought that was going to happen after he shot the guy. Nope, he came back.
That's because Zemo's been running this from day one. Zemo wants exactly what's happening to happen. Oh, what's up? We just got Dragon that hit the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, Zemo has exactly what's going on, what he wants going on. Like he is running this from start to finish. Oh, we got the Red Walrus in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. It's been forever. Good to see you back out there. But yeah, Zemo knows exactly what's up, and Zemo is the one that's running this crew. So he's right where he wants to be. So that's why he came back. He wants this. So he's either going to pin something on them or he needs them still for whatever his plan is. But yeah, he's definitely the one running the game. But yeah, it was like Sharon says we have a problem, and actually a couple of them, and I don't know. It's now confirmed that she definitely knew more than she's letting on, and like I said, I think she's just undercover doing all this stuff, basically trying to bring down the power broker probably. But we see Carly scoping out the GRC supply depot, and they try to give her like this little heartfelt moment monologue about wanting to be a teacher, and all I heard is her whining about how the world should have been theirs. And again, I was like, who do they think they are? It was pure dumb luck that they didn't get snapped, and now they feel like they're the only ones entitled to the world. I mean, that's just despicable to me.
I was just dozing off for that whole scene. I'm like, okay, let's hurry it up. We got a few more minutes left of this damn episode.
That was just ridiculous. And Carly feels a little safer knowing that Nagel's just been killed. She says the power broker's about to come begging now that the serum's been destroyed. And I'm like, is she really that stupid? Like she has to know that he's not dumb. He's just going to kill her, drain all her blood, and make new serum. It's not like he's just going to take a little bit from her.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, the whole thing was ridiculous. But then New Cap and Battlestar just found out that Sam and Bucky just happened to be at the jail the same day Zemo broke out. Dude's like, you think they had anything to do with it? It's like, give me a break. And Cap says like they're going to trail him, and Battlestar character seems to be like, he seems to be on the up and up, but the New Cap's like, he's ready to bend the rules and break them and do whatever he needs to do to get the job done. Like he is perfectly okay with doing whatever needs to be done to get it done. He's like, you think they're going to care once the job's done? It's like, yeah, I think they're going to care. You kill a bunch of people you weren't supposed to.
No, they're not going to care. They're just going to cover it up and say it was Sam and Bucky who killed all those damn people.
Exactly. That's what Baron's keeping them around for, probably, too. That was crazy. But then Sam calls Taurus to look up some info on some refugee, and like, what refugee was he talking about?
It was the chick, because the scientist was talking about that. I keep forgetting her name. Carl?
Oh, you think the refugee was Carly that they were talking about?
Yeah, because Carly did talk to him about, oh, can you help out the person with cancer for me? So I guess they were looking up that person, and they found out that she was dead. So they were like, oh, that's dead end.
So that was Carly they were talking about. So Sam's eyes are starting to be opened about the hypocrisy of being a hero and what the shield really stands for. And he says, maybe I did make a mistake. And Bucky's like, yeah, you should have kept it. And Sam's like, no, I should have destroyed it. What do you think about that? You think he's right about that?
No, if anything, just bury it, man.
You can't just blow up that much vibranium. You know how much that's worth? Are you kidding me? But Bucky says that shield meant a lot of things to a lot of different people, including me. So before you go and destroy it, I'm going to take it from Paul Walker. Like, how's that going to go down?
Well, like we said earlier in the chat, he hasn't even beat anyone yet. So I don't think it's going to be that difficult for him to take that damn shield from him.
He says, I'm just going to snatch it from him, take him. Like, we already know, yeah, Bucky can take him. But do you think Paul Walker's already taken some super serum? Or do you think maybe he'll end up taking some super serum by the end of this?
Like they said, there were like 20 of them. There's like 12 others. I will not be surprised if he takes it. Just like when it goes back to, I think it was the second episode, Like his look on his face when he was like, "What? It's really super soldiers." It's like he's hoping he can get that serum just so he can prove that he's almost as strong as Captain America. So it's like not only has a shield, the name, the strength is going to eventually end up going to his head. But yeah,
Absolutely. I don't think Peter Griffin. I don't think they ever let us know if Sharon and Zemo were both snapped. I don't think they've given us that.
Sharon, yes, because she was there was a picture for an Endgame that she was snapped.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't even
Zemo, we
remember
don't
that.
know.
I don't even remember that. Nice. Nice. Oh, catching up on the chat. Bury it like family gold in the backyard. Yeah, exactly. That'd be a one hell of a stash. It's like $1 billion an ounce or something. Something ridiculous. That's just crazy. Carol and Daryl are here too. Feel it. Welcome, welcome. But side note, I would not be eating any food that Zemo brought me. Like, especially after constantly reminding him that no matter how much he's already saved your ass, you're going to be taking him back to jail. I would not be eating any food or drink anything that this man offered me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, he could take you out at any point in time. I was like, it's not just going to happen.
I
I
was
would
thinking
not.
the same thing, no matter how hungry I am.
I'm going to stop at a Subway or something. I'm not eating your food. Leave
You
that.
said Subway?
I said anything, yeah. I'm telling you, I would eat. That's what I'm saying. I would eat anything before I ate his food because I'm not taking that poison. Walker's the opposite of Captain America, being a government puppet. Absolutely, he is. Yeah, he thinks that uniform gives him power instead of trying to live up to the shield and mantle like Cap did. He ain't worthy. But the squad finds out that Donna Madoni has died, and again, like, who the hell is this Dona Madoni, and why should we care? Like, the crew is now changing their entire plans around this information. Like, who is this woman? And like I said earlier, I think she might have had a lot bigger role that kind of got scrapped, and this is what's left. And I'm like, if you're gonna scrap her, just scrap all of it. Like, unless they explain it like in next episode or whatever. Just why do we keep hearing so much about this character that seemingly has nothing to do with anything? This is crazy. But the Flag Smashers robbed the GRC depot, and Carly says you had 6 months worth of supplies just sitting here. And I'm like, after all this fallout with the snap, she can't understand. She doesn't understand like saving supplies for the next emergency. Like again, her thought process is flawed. Like, who is she? Just a psychopath or what?
And that's what we pretty much get because the moment they're about to drive away, boom, killed them all. Even like their freaking followers, like you just killed. They were still in there. I'm like, okay, so they may end up giving her up just from that alone.
I'm telling you, like, that psycho blew up the whole building with them agents tied up inside. Like, is she just a natural born psychopath, or is it the serum that she took, like, starting to took into her, and maybe it's not as stable as Nagel thought?
Exactly. I was about to say that. I thought this was like the perfect one, making sure that all those others were failures, but this is I'm perfecting it. But if not, then what's gonna happen if we got, someone like John Walker that has that serum?
Exactly. Like, you already know with his mentality, things are not going to be good. So yeah, he's going to have to give up the mantle and call himself something else, and maybe that's when he becomes U.S. agent or something like that. But yeah, that's crazy. But Carly says this is the only language these people understand. And earlier, cohort said like maybe after this she could become like a school teacher or whatever and live out her dreams. And she just looked all dead-eyed and said like, yeah, maybe. So it seems like she has no intention of ever going back. She just wants war.
Nope, not at all.
But the three men are walking somewhere when Zemo says we're here, and Bucky tells them out of the blue that he's just going to go on a quick little walk. And that seemed kind of strange, but we quickly see what he was up to. He's like, I was wondering when you were going to show up. And it's like, oh, it's Ao. And she is here for Zemo. Looks like Sam was right. They have not forgotten.
Nope, because back in was a Black Panther, they were like, okay, we allow them to have Zemo, but no, we need USC's claw. And the moment this man left prison, they were after him instantly. They were waiting for the right opportune moment.
Exactly. You got superpowers, you got super skills. You could go out there and earn all kinds of money and get your own stuff, but you want to come in here and kill some innocent men for their supplies that they're building up for the next emergency. Like, Carly's just nuts. I have no sympathy for her whatsoever. Power broker process sharing for more contracts. Absolutely. She's working for him, I think, but I think it's undercover. Absolutely. I do believe that. You think the White Wolf was in Wakanda for quite a while? You think, like, is there a chance that maybe there's a little howling going on between Bucky and Ao? Like, she was looking.
Oh no.
What's that?
From what I remember, I think it was like a deleted scene that her and Okoye, like they used to have been a thing. That was like a deleted scene. Then someone did tell me, like in the comics, they also were a thing as well. But originally, they kind of mentioned like they had like some type of past.
Really, Ao and Bucky did?
Oh no, Okoye.
Oh, Koye, not Ao. Because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was Ao that showed up, and I was like, oh man, it's like she kind of had this little look, like half business, half like it's been a while, boo. I was like, wait a minute, we got a little White Wolf and a Ao going on, but maybe not. But if Sam was a fugitive and got pardoned by the government, why is he so hell bent on sending Zemo back to jail? Like he got to go. Why doesn't he think Zemo would expect anything less than what he got?
Because he's already on probation alone. So the moment they find out he helped Zemo, it's over.
She's there for the child support. Oh, absolutely. I'm shipping it. Ao and Bucky, they're a thing, Griffin. I'm telling you, they're a thing. Oh, man, all in all, what'd you think about this? This just got you super pumped for the next episode. What'd you think about this app?
It was a good episode. Probably my least favorite. Not saying it was bad, but compared to the first two, like it was not as good, I would say. But just that cliffhanger alone got me hype. I'm like, one, it could have been a Koi, in my opinion, because the actress, she's no longer dealing with The Walking Dead. She got free time. Get her on the damn show.
Oh, bring it in, bring it in. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty sweet, but I just think they brought more questions than they brought answers, which
Yeah, that's pretty much was it. Yeah,
that's what
especially
got
with
me.
the since the title episode is Power Broker, that was pretty much like the question throughout the entire thing. Who is this power broker? Is it Zemo? Is it Sharon? Is it someone that we've seen in previous films, or a entirely new character?
Zemo's kind of a murderer. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
What do you mean,
Wakanda's not,
kinda?
Wakanda is
He
not about
killed
to let
him.
that slide. That's classic. Trivia question of the show. What did Donya Madonna die of?
Leukemia?
And that is incorrect.
Damn it.
What's up, chat? Do you know what did Mama Madonna die of? If you know, type it in. Later on, if you're watching, go ahead and type it down below in the comments. See who gets this trivia done. And that is going to do it for us. Want to thank everybody that made their way by Tuesday night. You already know we're going to be doing it every single Tuesday right about this time. Getting it in, Winter Soldier and the Falcon. And if we have time, I'm not sure what it'd be this Saturday, but you never know. Probably going to be popping on this Saturday for a little something. Just no idea what yet. But stay tuned. We will be here. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I hope everybody's having an absolutely amazing week, and it just gets better from here. Y'all be easy.